All right, what is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. What we're going to do is break down Casper on the daily time frame. We're also going to look at the weekly time frame. Casper has been raging, going from 0.035 all the way up to 0.053 here recently, and we're going to see if it can continue. Now, we did some important things in the last video. And what we did was we flipped this level here, 0.041. We flipped that from resistance to support. All right, and we actually got our push up over our supply zone, as that supply zone was getting weak as we keep on testing it. And the more times you test something, the weaker it's going to get. So now we flipped past our first bullish price target here of 0.048, right? And we have some more bullish price targets to the upside, but there's some important things that we need to go over before we really can hit those bullish price targets. So I'm going to break that down for you guys. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. This is a viewer request. I do these viewer requests every single week. So if you want to see your token, your crypto in the next video, all you got to do is comment down below. All right, first things that I want to point out are the RSI and the MACD. All right, so we did have a possible head and shoulders forming here, and that's where we got this level from, right? I said, hey, if we find resistance up here at this 61.8% retracement level and continue heading lower and break this demand zone here, then ultimately we were going to end up heading back down lower. All right, and retest the 0.025 area potentially, right? That's what was going to happen. Now, we didn't do that. We actually got the breakout here. We formed a nice little bull flag and got a very strong push to the upside, and Casper's still pumping. On the MACD, we had a buy signal right over here. So the way the MACD works is you want to pay attention to the red line, and when it crosses above, that's typically known as an entry signal, and when it crosses down below, that's typically known as an exit signal. All right, and so we got the buy signal here in our demand zone, basically forming a nice little double bottom here, okay? And you can see we got the W pattern, and then we consolidated and ultimately turned that into a bull flag and got a strong breakout to the upside. As I mentioned, we had this overhead supply zone, but we tested it a lot, guys, right? This is 4 or 5 entries right here. This is another 2 right here. This is another 2. So really, since 2023 has started, we tested this supply zone about 10 times on the daily time frame, and ultimately we were able to go right past it now. So that's a good sign to see. What we're going to look for is, if we do get a pullback, we want to see it retest this supply zone, find support, find demand, and push back up higher. Right. Now the RSI also, we did something really nice here. There's a big important trend line that we actually broke, retested, and pushed up higher. What that is that was initially our bearish divergence trend line. So if you take a look, right, we have a high right here, and then we have a higher high right here. But if you look on your RSI, we had a high and then we had a lower high. So when the RSI is making lower highs, but the price is actually going up, making higher highs, that's a term known as bearish divergence. Okay. And I mentioned, when we came up to this point in time, I said, hey, we need to see a breakout, retest, and push higher of this bearish divergence trend line that caused us to drop. Otherwise, if we get a look above and fail, that's going to be bearish, and we're going to see a push down, which is exactly what we got. We got a look above and fail. And in a look above and fail is significant because at this moment, bulls are really presented opportunity to break things out and continue pushing price up higher, which in this case, they failed. And so that shows that bulls are not in control, that bears and sellers are actually in control. And we came back down into that demand zone, formed that double bottom, and ultimately we got the breakout. And look what happened here, guys. We got the breakout, retest, and then push higher. So, those are some of the main things that I've been looking at on Casper. Now, the content provided in this YouTube channel is for informational and educational purposes only and is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. Myself and any individuals that appear on this channel are not registered financial advisors or brokers. Trading in stocks, bonds, commodities, crypto involve a significant risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. So be sure to read through the full disclaimer. Now, if we zoom out a little bit more and we go to our weekly time frame, okay, we have a little bit of a bullish channel here, right? If you see the lows of this trend line that we tested and we ended up breaking, that's going to be, the top of this trend line here, the top of the channel that I'm looking at. And if you draw a parallel channel from those lows, connecting those lows, and then connecting our most recent lows, you can see we're actually forming a little bit of a bullish channel here. right? So this bullish channel could take us up to some of our major retracement levels of resistance. Now, the reason that we have these sets of three yellow lines here, we have the 61.8, the 50%, and the 38.2, is because these are the three most common and well-respected Fibonacci retracement levels, right? So what we do is we take our last swing high that we had, and you see we had this very strong move to the downside, and you're going to look for some type of retracement, and then we'll see, are we going to move down, retrace, continue the trend, or are we going to move down, consolidate, and break through those retracement levels? And if we break through those retracement levels, that's when we have a chance of getting a breakout, potential reversal, and retesting some of our previous highs around the 10 cents region. So that's one of the main things that I'm looking at right now when you zoom out on the larger time frames, is that 0.0555 is the 38.2% retracement level, and it really wouldn't surprise me if we end up coming up to there, or potentially even the 50% level at 0.0658. And also the 61.8% level is at 0.07611. Again, you use the fibs, to identify trend continuation versus trend reversals, right? So you get a move down, retracement, continuation lower, or you get a move down, retracement, and then some consolidation, and you break through those retracement levels. That's how you can spot a potential upside reversal. Now, not only do we have this bullish channel right here, but there is another chart pattern here forming, known as a bump and run, indicated by these two trend lines. So if you're not too familiar with the bump and run, this is the bump and run pattern, and this is something that we need to be a little bit cautious of. What we did was we zoomed into our daily time frame with the same patterns, right? We have that bullish channel here, and you can see that this is your prevailing uptrend, and then you get this bump in the price, and then the run is actually a downwards move. So we need to be really cautious of that right now, because we do have this prevailing uptrend, and then we just got this really aggressive bump right here. So if we do end up, breaking this trend line, there is a chance that we could get a strong move to the downside back to about the 0.04 or potentially the 0.03 levels. So that's something that you want to, just kind of be aware of. If you look, we're far away from the trend line right now. So it's not saying that anytime soon we're about to get a massive move, but it's something that you want to, prepare yourself for, just in case that this scenario and this chart pattern ends up playing out. Now, we've zoomed in here back on our original chart here, and going over the supply zone, right? We have our bullish price targets to the upside of 0.057 and 0.0627. Those are going to be, those have been my bullish price targets to the upside for a while, really since, the end of 2022, when we get this initial rally. Okay, 0.048 was the first bullish price target, and you can see we had a lot of candlesticks closing there on the daily time frame and hit that bullish price target, and we got close to the second bullish price target, but we didn't really hit it. Right now, what we need to look at is that we're approaching our previous highs right now. And so we need to be able to take these out. We need to be able to take out those previous highs that we got and get a strong push up to that 0.057 level. And if we can get above there, again, the next bullish price target is 0.062. If you look at your RSI, okay, we are over the overbought level, right, which is 70. All right, this dotted line right here is 70. That's the technical definition of overbought. Now, just because something's overbought doesn't mean it can't go higher, right? Over here, we were overbought. And then what did we do? We had this pattern right here, and we got a breakout and went higher. So we need to be a little bit cautious because we are overbought. The peak on the RSI is at this level here of 84.28. So we do still have a little bit more room to go up before we reach our RSI peak that we ended up hitting over here. So we'll be paying attention for that. Now, after this strong move, okay, these are major retracement levels of support. So you can see that they're aligning well with our previous supply zone that we had. We're going to look for this to turn into demand and try to push back up higher on any type of a pullback. But below that demand zone, the major levels are going to be 0.04647, 0.04399, and 0.04150. If we come down, consolidate, and break below these levels, then most likely we're going to come back down and retest that demand zone around the 0.0350 level. All right, that is where we would look for on some type of a reversal, because remember, we have the move up, retracement, continuation higher, or we could get the move up, retracement, consolidation, and potentially get a reversal back down to the previous lows. That's how the different scenarios are basically going to work there. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. Okay, if you did, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. I do these viewer requests every week, so if you want to see yours in the next one, all you got to do is comment down below.